Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Um, it seems like, the people in Chicago, the elected officials, and for lack of a better term, the bleeding heart liberals really don't understand what it means to close the border down, and truly do not understand what it means to take care of your own before giving out any handouts to anybody else. Okay? The reason why I call them bleeding heart liberals, because growing up back home in New York, whenever we encountered a bleeding heart liberal, it was always that they thought about everybody first, and to them it was like, damn whoever else needs it before them, because in their eyes they're self-righteous. They think taking away from American citizens and giving it to everybody else is the right thing to do. Okay? And now it seems like California is following suit with I've said it before on many of my videos, it's not that they're being complacent, okay? They just don't truly care about putting America first before trying to help other people. Okay? They're in it for their own agenda, basically. Okay? But before I continue, and I'll explain as I go what's going on, and this is something that people really need to just really start understanding and really start getting serious about 2024. Okay? But before I continue with what I have to show, first I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Also, if you like the content, please comment, like, share, subscribe, pass it around. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and my PayPal. And I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers on YouTube and on Rumble. So with that being said, let's take a listen to what a California politician, okay, the lieutenant governor actually of California, has to say about the migrant crisis. But let's continue.
Joining me now, California Congressman Robert Garcia, member of the Homeland Security and Oversight and Accountability Committee. So, welcome, sir.
Okay, don't mean to stop it so quick, but he is a member of the Homeland Security, okay, and Oversight Committee. Okay, so that in itself right there should pretty much tell everybody what kind of a position this man has, what kind of power this man has. Okay, but you give these Democrats power, they don't know what the hell to do with it. Okay, they use it for their own personal agenda. They don't care about the American people. If anybody remembers, Homeland Security was made right after 9/11. It was to protect the American people. These people, these Democrats that are part of the Homeland Security office, they don't care about the American people. All they want is more illegals to keep coming in. But let's continue.
When it comes to the border, what are the biggest hurdles to solving this seemingly endless issue?
Well, I think first what's really important is we're not linking border policy or ways to support and ensure that we have an asylum process that works with foreign aid or humanitarian aid. And so the process right now, I think that the Republicans are trying to force and link Ukraine aid with border reform is really shameful and unfortunate.
Okay, right there, I get disgusted with these people. He's just flat out lying. He's just lying. Okay, first of all, the Republicans have been wanting the Democrats, okay, that whenever they're gonna make any kind of deals on Capitol Hill, I shouldn't say deals, when they're trying to get policies going, okay, they're trying to say, listen, if we're going to take some money and send it to Ukraine, that should be separate on its own. If we're going to make policy to allocate money for the border, that should be separate on its own. In other words, stop linking things together. Stop adding pork to the mix. Okay? So this man right here is a flat out damn liar. Okay? And he knows he's lying. And this is the problem with what's going on with the Democrats and the news media. That they keep pointing the finger at the Republicans. That the problem at the border is that it's out of control because we're not allocating enough money to help the people that are seeking asylum. No. What the main fucking problem is shut the fucking border down. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Has nothing to do with Ukraine. Has nothing to do with Israel. Has nothing to do with this war. Nothing to do with that policy. Just shut the damn border down. That's the way Trump did it. He shut it the fuck down. But all they could think about is that we need more humanitarian aid. We need more. No, shut the fucking border down. Get on your loudspeaker, get on the news, send your media over to these countries, speak to these presidents the way Trump did, these rulers, these dictators of the countries that they're coming from, and tell them, if you don't stop your people from crossing borders, we're going to have a problem. We're not going to give you no aid. We're not going to give you no subsidies. We're not going to give you shit. But they keep trying to make it seem like the problem is that they need more money in order to help more illegals come in. No, it's to stop them from coming in. Do not pass go. Do not pass that fence. But let's continue.
As an immigrant myself, I know the immigration process works. Like you said earlier, this is a country of immigrants, and the ways to get this done is for...
Okay, I'm going to say something that's probably going to offend a lot of people, and to tell you the truth, I don't give a flying fucking rat's ass. He just said that as an immigrant himself, how the hell does an immigrant come into this country and is part of Homeland Security? See, this is the problem, people. Because if anybody remembers, when Ilhan Omar got into Congress, she hated America from the beginning. As a matter of fact, she should have been arrested a long time ago, because she married her own brother in order to lie, all right, for her citizenship. So you see, this is where Washington is broken. That they're letting illegals come in here, they're letting them run for positions, okay, in the government, and then they're giving them positions like Homeland Security, oversight committees, things like that. Who the hell do you think they're going to favor first? They're going to favor their agenda, the people from their countries first. They want more illegals to come in. This is the problem. This is why people like this should not be holding positions like this. And if you're going to hold a position like this, it should be put America first. Never mind how many illegals are seeking asylum. You need to fix... They keep saying that the immigration system has been broken for years. That the immigration system has been backed up on paperwork for years. Then if that's the case, that right there should tell you, stop letting more and more and more and more in. Okay, we cannot be the only country that's willing to accept asylum seekers. And from everything that has been shown, and by plenty of these illegals' own admission, they're coming here for work. Very rarely you hear them saying that they're seeking asylum. They're coming here for work. But let's continue.
For us to come together with bipartisan support. Democrats and Republicans want border security. We have also proposed numerous ways of getting that done. It's about guest worker programs. It's about ensuring there's enough legal attorneys on the ground to...
You see what he just said? You see, that's what it's all about. It's about getting guest worker programs. Okay? Getting enough attorneys on the ground. You see, people, they're fucking lying. What they want is to make them legal citizens. They want more illegals in here to make them legal citizens. This guy is such a fucking jackass that they're admitting the obvious. This has nothing to do with asylum seekers. This has to do with getting them work visas, getting them registered to be legal citizens. Why? Because as Chicago is showing, as the Democratic Party is showing, they are pushing the black vote out, the American Latino vote out. They want the illegals in here because they know they're losing ground. That's what they want. It has nothing to do with asylum. You mean to tell me caravans of tens of thousands of military-abled men cannot stand together and fight in their country, but yet you got Dick Durham in Congress, a Democrat, asking to put those men in our military to prove their allegiance to America. No, let them prove their allegiance to their country. Send them back. Let them fight for the freedom in their country. The dictators are in their country, not here. We have our own dictators here in the Democratic Party. But let's continue.
get folks through the asylum system. It's about bringing technology in to ensure that the border is secure. It's about supporting the deputies and the nonprofits that are on the ground. There are a lot of solutions.
And the nonprofits, you see? So he said, get them work permits, get them the lawyers, let the nonprofits. You see, all that is to help them get legalized so they can get the vote. That's all it is. Because if they really cared, they would send it out on the airwaves, okay, to tell them the American border is closed. No, what are they doing? They're downloading apps. They're flying them in from different countries, okay? They're telling them what to do. If anybody remembers the news clippings with all these illegals on the other side, in the Mexico side of the border, when Biden became president, all the t-shirts that they were wearing, the Joe Biden t-shirts that they were wearing, thank you, Joe Biden. Who the hell you think put that up? You know, Joe Biden stops funding for the border wall and now he wants to play savior. Oh, we put it back up. It's too damn late. They're coming by the tens of thousands. But let's continue.
But unfortunately, Republicans today in the House especially, and Donald Trump, all they want to do is demonize immigrants, demonize asylum seekers, essentially move.
You know, I tell you, these guys, these people bring out the damn worst. You know, all he could talk about is demonize, 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 demonize. Damn it, what about the people that the illegal immigrants have already killed in this country? The people that they have killed, the Americans in Texas that were protecting their property. The women and children that have been kidnapped, that have been raped, that have been murdered. Damn it. You keep fucking talking about demonizing all these illegals. What about the Americans that are suffering at the hands of many of these illegals? And it's pompous pricks like this that the Democrats put in fucking power. But let's continue.
Essentially move us backwards in our process and forget that immigrants are in large part why this country is so incredible and have welcomed people like myself and my families. And so we are in.
Yeah, and good fucking deal that the fucking did for us. Because you come in here, instead of saying, you know what, let me try to protect this country, no, you want to open up the borders and let more fucking people in. And you're worried about their, you know, their welfare, their well-being. You know what? That's good. It shows you're a humanitarian. We all are. We all understand this. We don't want people to be hurt. We don't want women and children being kidnapped and raped and disappearing. We don't want American citizens, first and foremost, to be victims of what's going on. But you want to come out and say, well, you know, it's Republicans and people like Trump, you know, they demonize them. You know, this is the problem with Democrats. You know, they take an oath to go into office to protect this country, and they don't do it. They don't do it. Okay? And there's a lot of Republicans out there, the rhinos, they're the same way. They're just, you know, they're just Republicans in name only, basically. But your first job is to protect this country from all threats, foreign and domestic. It's funny how the Democrats want to come after Americans against their freedom of speech, against the mothers at the school board meetings, against people that don't want race theory and all kinds of bullshit in the schools against the kids and all. No, you'll come and attack the Americans, but you want people to have sympathy for all the illegals that are coming in, and you keep your mouth shut for the ones that are bringing in the drugs, that are bringing in the prostitution like they're showing in Chicago, okay? That are now they're forming gangs. Now they're breaking and entering in stores. They're forming groups like the groups of Venezuelans. You know, you don't worry about none of that. No, because we can't have that. You know, because Republicans and Trump demonized them. So it's okay for you to demonize, but you won't uphold your oath to the Constitution to protect this country. Okay? Before I even want to listen to any more of the shit that's coming out this moron's mouth. Okay? And he's from California, and you know, you would think it's like, don't you have enough illegals in California? You care so damn much. Okay? But only when it gets close to your yard, you get upset. Just like that pompous prick in Chicago, Brandon Johnson. You think he's listening to his voters? No, not at all. The more they bitch and moan, and I don't mean that in a bad way, they're basically telling him, enough is enough. You think he cares? No. Like I said, he's doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. He's not listening to them. And you know why these Democrats are not listening to anybody? You know why they're not listening to their own constituents? Because they know they have lost the American Democrat vote. They have basically lost the American black vote, the American Latino vote. Their vote Democrat, they know for a fact that they lost New York, they lost Chicago, they're probably going to lose Colorado, and they're probably going to get a lot of blowback in California. And I tell you one thing right now. I called it a long time ago. If anybody looks at my content from months ago, I called it. Okay? Then New York will flip, and the day it does, there won't be a Democrat in the White House. And then I had to double down, paying attention, listening to boots on the ground, like, you know what? This can happen in Chicago. I just didn't think Chicago would flip so soon. Okay? Chicago has already spoken. They said there is no room for compromise. But now since they're getting so much blowback and they're wasting so much money, now they're trying to go back and put the blame on Greg Abbott. Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, I hope everybody's still with me. Let's put it this way. Let's just say that Greg Abbott is the only problem for this crisis. Wouldn't it be right to say, shut the border down? I mean, because think about it. They keep saying that this is Greg Abbott's fault for letting all the illegals in as if he owns California, okay, and shipping them to the states. So what exactly is it that you Democrats want? You want all the illegals to stay in California? In Texas? You see, none of this makes any sense. They keep bitching and moaning about Greg Abbott in Texas, but it's like, well, where do you want all these illegals to go? Do you want them to take over Texas? Is this like, Fight for the Alamo 2.0? Flood Texas with what? The 8 to 10 million illegals that have come in already in the past 3 years? And then what? You see, they keep talking about, this is Greg Abbott's fault because, he's busing them in, he's flying them in, he's sending them around the country. But what in the hell do you want him to do? Or is it better that you all get together and go to Biden and say, listen, you brain dead moron, shut the border down completely. But they don't think like that because that's not their agenda. They're trying to point the finger at anybody because they are getting so much blowback from the American citizens. That's what the problem is. But let's continue.
Encouraging negotiators to separate and de-link these two. Let's get foreign aid done and let's focus on immigration as a house in this upcoming year.
So
no, how about not? How about people how about you, since you're from California, how about you just shut your mouth and just keep your ass in that communist state? And I don't mean to offend the Republicans in California. Obviously, they love my content. But, it's like the ones that want this, why don't you just secede from the rest of the United States? Make it your own country. Tell everybody whoever wants to stay can stay. Whoever doesn't, they're more than welcome to leave. But why don't you just stay there and shut it down? Let all the illegals, reroute them instead of going through Texas. Let them just go through California, stay in California. That's all. Just go that way. No big deal. Just stay there. But they won't do that. Why? Because you got all the movie stars, Silicon Valley, top-notch politicians. You can't, I don't know. Greg Abbott, if you watch my video, send them down to Beverly Hills. Send them to Hollywood. We sent them to Martha's Vineyard. That worked out pretty cool. But I'll show you guys the next clip before I ramble on anymore. Here we go.
Mark and Tanya, local elected officials from the Latino caucus are calling on President Biden to help. This morning, Alderman Byron Cijo Lopez and U.S. Representative Chuy Garcia gathered with other city and community leaders in front of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Building to demand more funding from the federal government. This comes on the heels of a 5-year-old boy who died in a city-run shelter in Pilsen and in the wake of Texas flying migrants to Chicago. Texas Governor.
Okay, did everybody get an earful on that right there? Did you guys hear that? This is the problem. When you don't have the resources to take care of people, you can barely take care of the American citizens here by denying them health care and all kinds of stuff that they need. Medical assistance on many levels. Now, don't get me wrong. It breaks my heart for any child to have to pass away. But did it have to get to this point? Let's continue.
Greg Abbott releasing video and claiming responsibility for flying more than 100 migrants to O'Hare Airport on Tuesday. This morning, the Latino caucus here in Chicago calling it cruel and pleading with the Biden administration to step up.
I support the call for additional resources from the federal government. That is essential. It's critical for Chicago, it's critical for New York, for Houston, for all the other cities that are seeking to do everything that they can, but they cannot do it alone.
Flight saying Sanctuary City, Chicago started obstructing and targeting our busing mission. Texas will now expand our operation to include flights to Chicago. Until Biden steps up to secure the border, we will continue to provide overwhelmed Texas border towns with much needed relief. Last week, Chicago began impounding and citing buses that violated designated drop-off zones. Mayor Johnson reacting to the charter flight last night on WTTW Chicago Tonight.
The type of chaos, the disruption that the governor of Texas is determined to create and cause, we're doing everything in our power to deal with this very overwhelming international crisis that has placed the city of Chicago as a target by this governor simply because he doesn't want to adhere to law.
Okay. Oh, man. I can come up with so many words to describe that, man. You see the way they try to flip it around? They're making it seem as if the governor of Texas owns Texas. As if he's the president of Texas. And that he just wants to take all these migrants and disrupt different U.S. cities and states. When the problem is that the border is open. Governor Abbott said, until Biden secures the border, this is what I'm going to keep doing. Or you can hear from California, from Chicago, New York, is that, oh, because Greg Abbott is doing this, he sent them to us. But where in the hell do you want him to send all these illegals? What do you expect him to do? Keep them all in Texas and destroy the livelihood of all the American people in Texas? It's ridiculous listening to these people. And what they're trying to do, like I said before, they're trying to put the blame on somebody because their constituents are fighting back and have already told them, we are not going to vote for you. So now they're just going for broke. They're just like, well, since you're not going to vote, we're still going to do what we can to bring them in. We're not going to tell them to shut down the border because this is what they want to do. And this is why I keep saying, people, when it's time to vote, everybody, every American, okay? And I will admit this. Every migrant that's here legally, that did it the right way, that has gotten their turn, that now it's time for them to vote, they better watch those voting booths and watch and make sure that they do not flood it with illegals to vote. Okay? And this is just not in the city of Chicago, people. In the beginning of the video when I told you about the Bleeding Heart liberals, okay? This is the clip I want to show you. Here we go. Okay. This is by Chicago Radio. It says, "This is not civil. Aurora residents push back at ordinance involving migrant bus arrivals." Okay, a new ordinance in Aurora attempts to hold accountable those involved in sending migrants by bus. A special city council meeting held on the 5th floor of the city hall in Aurora ended in a 9-1 vote in favor of adopting an ordinance effective immediately that requires transportation companies to notify the city at least 5 days prior to arrival and then receive approval first before individuals are allowed to disembark in Aurora. Okay? That approval will only be granted upon presentation to the city of a detailed plan that identifies how the individuals will be cared for, housed, and fed temporarily or permanently. Unscheduled and thereby unpermitted drop-offs will be subject to a fine, with buses subject to forfeiture. Aurora Mayor Richard Irvin said after the vote that the ordinance is not meant to punish migrants, but to protect them and hold accountable those putting them in unsafe conditions, referring to those who are irresponsible and inhumanely dropping off migrants here without provisions and care that they need to be treated with the basic dignity that human beings should be treated with. The ordinance passed despite a full 30 minutes of opposition during public comment. Okay? What's the matter with you? This is not civil. What are you trying to do? Said one man addressing the council members. Another resident also spoke in support of the migrants. I hope when they look back at this time of trauma in their lives, Aurora is a reprieve in the chaos, and our city is remembered for its compassion and the beauty of its people, she said. Nathan, a community organizer, also expressed his disagreement with the ordinance. It is quite a shame that we're trying to pass an ordinance to restrict the amount of migrant buses coming into our city and inherently restricting the amount of migrants we can take into the city, he said. Do you see what's going on, people? They're now in Aurora, Chicago, Illinois, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? Instead of them saying no, they took a vote to find out we need to figure out how we're going to take them in. So anybody that doesn't give us a heads up, because the people that are sending them are inhumane, meaning AKA, okay, the governor of Texas, we can't stand for that. So now you got your organizers, again, your organizer in Chicago, the one you just seen on the last clip, they want to help. The organizers here, they want to help. The Homeland Security in California, they want to help. All they want to do is help more and more illegals come in. Damn the American taxpayer. Damn the American and their sovereignty and our country, our way of life. They don't give a flying rat's ass. From President Biden all the way down, okay, to the coyotes on the other side of the border. They don't give a flying rat's ass. They don't care. It's all about money and changing America. That's what it's all about. It's about the Democrats staying in power. Brandon Johnson doesn't care about his constituents. Okay? Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul don't care about the constituents. The governor of Colorado doesn't care about his constituents. California, Gavin Newsom don't care about the constituents. Okay? And people may say, well, he does. I mean, they voted for him. No, I'm talking about he doesn't care about their safety. He doesn't care about taking their taxpayer money and giving it to somebody else while they starve. Okay? Meanwhile, a lot of their constituents to these Democrat leaders, they're going to keep voting for them. So I tell them, this is what you get. But the ones that are breaking away because they're fed up, good. Make a difference now. It's about time. We need to save this country. We need to shut that border. Because the powers that be, all these elected officials, the same way the people that are speaking out and saying we've already spoken, we've already made up our mind, they're basically telling you, fuck you, we've made up our mind. You're leaving the party, we're going to leave the border open. They really don't care what their Greg Abbott sending them in. Okay? They're playing possum. That's basically what it is. They're playing the role. Okay? This is what I say. Start lawsuits, people. You people are leaving the Democratic Party by the thousands. Flood the courts with thousands upon thousands of lawsuits against Eric Adams, Kathy Hochul, Brandon Johnson, the White House, Homeland Security. Just every time somebody gets kidnapped, raped, murdered, sold on drugs, killed, whatever the fuck the problem is, start the families, start the lawsuits against them for negligence. Okay, on their watch. Not on the Republicans, not on Donald Trump, not on his supporters. We didn't do this. Donald Trump ain't doing this. But that's all they can keep saying. Oh, there's so much blowback because, you know, Donald Trump's a racist and his supporters are racist. No. It's because people are getting fucking killed and raped and murdered and kidnapped. That's why. And it's a disservice to America, the American people. It's a disservice to the immigrants that came here legally to make their bones in this country, that stand for the rights in this country, the constitutional rights in this country. So I say start a lawsuit against every single Democrat official that is for this. It's on their watch that it's happening. They've got blood on their hands. And you rhino Republicans have blood on your hands also. Because you're in on it. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, pass it around. If you're at a Christmas party, hey, like I said before, you know, help get the channel up. Tell people at the party, let them get on their cell phones. Check out, you know, YouTube. Check out my channel. If they like it, subscribe. I'm trying to, hopefully, my Christmas present is that I'll wake up on Christmas morning and I have hopefully a couple of thousand new subscribers. That'd be great. If you want to help support the channel, in my description, there's a link to my Cash App and my PayPal. Also, the shirts are on the way. I got one design coming out so far. They're being made, so hopefully we can start off the new year with some merch on the channel. And remember, people, this is big, okay? This is big. So, like I always say, everybody has to stay vigilant, okay? Do I believe that every person coming across that border is bad? No, not at all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to shut the border down, because if you can't vet everybody, we cannot let nobody in. The proof has already showed us that. Okay? How many more people have to be murdered, man? But remember, till then, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, and Merry Christmas. Peace.